Hello everyone, this is your boy Ryan, and I am back at it again after months spent inside a coffin and waiting for PoE2 to come out. And now that all the official announcements for PoE2 is finally done, I can start working on some small videos. With the amount of new mechanics and interactions in PoE2, there's a lot to explore. And be sure that I'm gonna be making a lot of stupid builds mainly focused around minions for this game. For the early access of PoE2, my plan is to start as a Minion Witch, then try Sorcerer, and finally Mercenary. The other classes can wait for now, and in this video we will go over some class choices along with ascendancy options for our beloved minions. Also, I don't want to mention leaks since it's never reliable, so I'll only be referencing official reveal stream and the information from podcasts of Jonathan Rogers with the other content creators. Also, let me know in the comments on what class and build you are going to be playing on launch. And with that, let's get into the class choices and ascendancy options for the launch of PoE2. Historically speaking, class selection was never a problem in Path of Exile when playing most builds. Sure, there were some builds that were only possible for certain class due to ascendancy options, but in general, most skills were playable by any class as long as you build properly around it. The same goes for PoE2 as well. But there were some revelations in a podcast by Gazi and DM with Jonathan about interchanging passive tree. Jonathan said that while every class has its own starting location on the passive tree, there will be a very small number of nodes in the starting area that specifically play into the theme of the said class, and only that particular class will have access to it. For example, there are a few minion nodes on the starting area for the witch that you won't see if you start another class. While it is a very minor boost to the theme of every class, I believe as this is a new game and we have so much to discover, it's best if we stick to a recommended option as a starter build. But then again, the world is yours to explore and you can literally do whatever you want. This game will give you options to actually explore and build your own class instead of locking you into a certain play style with a certain class. My recommendations for a minion starter will be the witch, as it is the forefront of minion advertised by GGG themselves. I also think the sorcerer, monk and mercenary will be strong contender for minions due to their ascendancy options. Now, with that said, let's talk a little bit about the ascendancy options for the witch. Unfortunately, in PoE2, we don't have a dedicated ascendancy for the minions. Necromancer no longer exists. Instead, as a witch, we can become either an infernalist or a blood mage. First, the infernalist. So far, what has been revealed, the infernalist looks to be a hybrid between a fire type mage and a mistress of minion. As an infernalist, you can summon a loyal hellhound to aid you in battle. The hellhound will damage the enemies around, setting them on fire as well as absorbing some portion of the incoming damage to us. This is the only skill that was revealed so far that directly benefits to a summoner class. Other than this, she can replace mana with infernal flames to cast spells and have different play style of a mage caster. She can also transform into a demon to enhance her damage while taking increased damage herself. These are the only things showcased for this ascendancy so far. In my opinion, Infernalist seems to be the best choice if you want maximum damage output without worrying about any defense whatsoever for the minions. But since all of the ascendancy is not revealed yet, it's best to wait a few days before passing judgment. And as a second ascendancy option for the witch, we have the blood mage. To me, this is the most interesting option for a minion. While only a few nodes of the blood mage has been shown in the reveal stream, we got a massive information from Jonathan about the blood mage. As a blood mage, your skills will always have an additional life cost equal to the mana cost of the skill, but enemies killed will drop a blood orb that you can pick up to restore your life. The crucial part that GGG forgot to add in their live stream is that the life you gain by picking up these orbs can overflow up to double of your HP, meaning by picking up blood orbs you can have double HP temporarily. While it doesn't sound that great for bossing, it definitely is a massive strong stuff in the mapping section. The other notes for Blood Mage that were revealed are all related to life leech and extra damage for spells you cast, which don't really benefit much for minion damage or our character defense so far. But I do hope that the rest of the ascendancy points will have something better options for the minion playstyle. For me personally, I am more inclined to go as a blood mage for the theme and play around with it, but if all the nodes that are related inside this ascendancy to a buffing of a blood magic caster, then I will absolutely choose the Infernalist as my main ascendancy. The bad part of the ascendancy option in PoE 2 is the fact that once you make your selection, you will be logged into it. So I personally don't like this, but GGG said that they might change it later when the game goes into full release. Now, there are other ascendancies that can work as a minion summoner as well. I think the Sorcerer with its Chronomancer ascendancy has a lot of potential both offensively by resetting cooldowns and defensive options via Time Freeze and Temporal Rift. The Monk has some good synergy with the Acolyte of Chayula ascendancy, mainly with its high defensive capabilities of chaos resistance. The Mercenary, while not great at first sight, its ascendancy class, the Gemling Legionnaire, currently is a hot topic for any build due to its absurd synergy with skill gems. The Legionnaire gains extra maximum Elides cap by equipping support gems and gives extra levels and quality to all equipped gems as well. So both defensively and offensively it covers a lot of things for all minion builds. Although it sounds great, I still think playing minions on this class will be quite difficult at start, and thus I recommend trying it as your second build at the very least. Now since we don't have any planner for the game yet, we have to wait for the release and figure out all the stuff manually for most things. From the snippets we have, we know that PoE 2 will feature two types of permanent minions and a variety of temporary minions for us to play with. My initial plan is to go for a combo of skeleton lightning mages with DPS specters as perma-minions along with as many temporary minions we can fit in. If I go as an Infernalist though, I think I want a combination of Fire Skeleton Mage with Fire Arsonist to proc a Flame type skill all the time to summon a lot of Raging Spirits, and then support all minions with Spectres to buff if available, and then as a Hellhound with that as well. Some general tips that I would heavily point out is to make sure that you engage with the crafting system in PoE 2. It has been polished, redesigned, and now is much more efficient throughout the whole game. Make sure you upgrade your gear every 10 or 15 levels at the very least. Look out for scepters to boost your max spirit so you can have a larger army of minions. Make sure you also boost your defenses too and don't go all out into offensive power. Discover and find any hidden side boss encounters for permanent boosts to your character. I will be uploading more videos and throughout my journey in time with PoE 2. With that said, have a fun time, get ready to forget reality as this game might consume your entire existence. Stay sane, exiles.